Have you ever walked into a room and felt the air change? Not because of what was said, but because of what was felt. Some people seem to bend the atmosphere around them. Their presence is heavy, magnetic, sometimes intimidating, and they don't even realize it. Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychologist, once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." What if your energy, your aura, has been transforming people's emotions, even unsettling them, without your awareness? This is not mysticism alone. Jung's psychology explored how energy, archetypes, and the unconscious self project outward, shaping the way others perceive us. Your aura, in that sense, is the psychological atmosphere your soul emits. In this video, we'll explore 13 subtle but powerful signs that your aura scares people, not because you're dangerous, but because your presence carries a certain depth, intensity, or mystery that most people cannot face in themselves. Before we begin the signs, we need to understand what Jung might mean by an aura. In spiritual terms, aura is the field of energy surrounding your body. In Jungian terms, it's the psychological energy, the psychic field generated by your conscious and unconscious mind. Jung believed that each person carries both light and shadow, the parts of ourselves we show and the parts we hide. When someone fully integrates both, their energy becomes whole. But for most people, encountering wholeness in another person is unsettling because it reflects what they have repressed. That's why people might sense your presence as intense or too much. It's not that you're aggressive or unkind, it's that your psyche projects completeness. You are no longer just a personality. You are a symbol. And symbols, Jung wrote, always awaken unconscious reactions. This is the psychology behind what we call a scary aura. It's not darkness, it's depth. Sign number 1. People avoid eye contact with you. Eye contact is the meeting of energies. For Jung, the eyes were not just windows to the soul. They were gateways through which the unconscious speaks. When people avoid looking directly into your eyes, it may not be shyness. It might be that your gaze reveals too much. You might unconsciously see people, their true motives, emotions, and contradictions, and they feel it. The human ego resists being seen for what it really is. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." But most people haven't reached that stage, so when your presence reflects authenticity, they flinch. Your aura silently tells them, "I can see you." And for those still hiding behind masks, that's terrifying. Sign number 2. People misinterpret your silence. Silence is a powerful vibration. In a noisy world, being quiet can make people uneasy. If your aura is intense, your silence doesn't feel empty, it feels charged. You might just be observing, thinking, or existing, but to others, your stillness can feel like judgment, mystery, or even superiority. This is a Jungian paradox. People project their own unconscious fears onto what they cannot read. When they cannot define you, they invent you. They fill the gaps of silence with their insecurities. They might say things like, "Why are you so quiet? You're hard to read," or even, "You seem angry," when you're not. Your silence mirrors their own noise. Your calm reflects their restlessness. And that is why your aura may intimidate, because it forces others to feel themselves. Sign number 3. People either overly admire you or deeply dislike you. One of Jung's most powerful insights was about projection, the unconscious act of placing one's own hidden qualities onto someone else. When people are confronted with your aura, they may react in extremes. They either idolize you, seeing you as wiser, deeper, or mysterious, or they reject you, labeling you cold, arrogant, or different. This polarity isn't about you. It's about how your energy activates their unconscious. You might embody an archetype like the sage, the rebel, or the seer. Archetypes carry universal emotional power. They awaken awe or fear. That's why people can't stay neutral around you. Your presence amplifies what already exists within them. To those who seek truth, you feel magnetic. To those who hide from truth, you feel threatening. And most people don't understand why.
Energy exchange is real, whether we call it aura, vibration, or simply emotional presence. When your inner world runs deep, conversations with you aren't just words, they're experiences. Carl Jung wrote that every true encounter changes both people involved. You don't do small talk, you do soul talk. But most people aren't ready for that depth. When they speak with you, they subconsciously open emotional doors they usually keep locked. You awaken questions they don't want to face. After the interaction, they may not understand why they feel tired, quiet, or unsettled. It's not because you've taken their energy, it's because you've stirred it. Your aura is catalytic. It activates what's asleep in others. And transformation always demands energy. So if you notice people withdrawing or needing space after talking to you, don't take it personally. You didn't exhaust them. You exposed them to themselves. Sign number 5. You make people reveal more than they plan to. Have you noticed how strangers confess things to you they've never told anyone? That's not coincidence. That's energy recognition. Your aura carries safety, but also truth. It whispers, you can be real here. In Jungian terms, you embody the archetype of the wounded healer, someone whose own inner journey into darkness allows others to drop their masks. People sense that you've seen pain and survived it. So they pour out their secrets, their stories, their shame, sometimes minutes after meeting you. And afterward, they feel naked, vulnerable, even embarrassed. Because your energy doesn't just listen, it sees. It holds a mirror up to their soul. This is why some people are drawn to you deeply, while others suddenly pull away. Revelation is healing, but it's also terrifying. You didn't ask to be their mirror, but that's what your aura does. It reflects truth wherever it goes. It's strange, isn't it? You might be kind, gentle, and open-hearted, yet people describe you as intimidating or hard to approach. That's because your aura communicates before your words do, and it carries weight, not arrogance, but awareness. You move differently. You're grounded, conscious, and often detached from the frantic energy most people live in. In a world addicted to distraction, someone who sees clearly can feel unsettling. Jung would say this is the power of individuation, the process of becoming your true self. When you individuate, you step out of the collective shadow, the patterns, roles, and masks society expects you to wear. You become your own person, and the crowd senses that difference instantly. Your energy doesn't conform, it questions. It doesn't follow, it observes. That calm independence feels like power to those who depend on validation. So they misread your self-possession as pride, when in truth, it's just presence. Sign number 7. You trigger emotional reactions you didn't intend to. This one is subtle, and deeply Jungian. You might walk into a group and notice sudden tension. Someone becomes defensive. Another tries too hard to impress you. Someone else acts cold or dismissive. You haven't done anything wrong. You've just activated their shadow. The shadow, Jung explained, is the part of the psyche that contains everything we deny or repress about ourselves. When someone meets a person who embodies traits they've buried, strength, authenticity, calm, or self-awareness, they unconsciously project their repressed feelings outward. That's why your presence might cause irritation, jealousy, or confusion, not because of who you are, but because of what you represent in their psyche. You become the screen onto which their unconscious plays its hidden movie. They're not really reacting to you, they're reacting to themselves. Your aura is the reminder that no one escapes their inner truth forever.
Jung once wrote, "The deeper the self-knowledge, the fewer people there are who can understand you." This is the paradox of awakening. The more authentic you become, the lonelier the path feels. If your aura unsettles people, one of the clearest signs is that they misunderstand your intentions. You say something honest, they hear arrogance. You withdraw to recharge, they assume rejection. You express truth, they call it negativity. Why? Because your energy doesn't fit neatly into the world's familiar patterns. You are not easily labeled. Not the nice one, not the quiet one, not the rebel. You are fluid, shifting between depth and detachment, light and shadow. To someone stuck in one-dimensional thinking, that's confusing. They want categories, not contradictions. But Jung taught that real individuation embraces opposites, the union of the conscious and unconscious, masculine and feminine, strength and vulnerability. Your aura, therefore, reflects wholeness, and wholeness terrifies those still living in fragments. So don't be disheartened when people misread you. They're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the part of themselves your presence exposes. Sign 9. People feel they have to match your energy. Notice how people adjust themselves around you, their tone, their posture, even their words. They sense your energy and unconsciously they rise or retreat to meet it. That's the power of psychological gravity. Jung believed that when a person integrates their shadow and becomes whole, they emit a certain psychic magnetism. It's not dominance, it's coherence. Your inner world is organized. Your emotions aren't leaking everywhere. You don't chase approval or validation. That centeredness naturally creates an energetic field where others feel seen, and seen too clearly. So they might suddenly become performative, exaggerated, or cautious. They might try to impress you, to sound smarter or more spiritual than they are. Not because you demand it, but because your aura commands presence. Like a mirror, you make people aware of their own authenticity level. And in that awareness, they either ascend or shrink. Sign number 10. You attract deep souls and wounded hearts alike. Another paradox of having an intense aura is that you attract both old souls and lost souls. The old souls sense resonance. They recognize your energy as familiar, timeless, safe. The wounded hearts sense salvation. They see your light and mistake it for healing meant for them. Carl Jung's concept of the anima and animus, the inner feminine and masculine energies, explains why. Your aura might embody qualities others have disowned: strength, sensitivity, intuition, power, or peace. They are drawn to you as if to reclaim a missing part of themselves. But instead of integrating it, they attach to you. That's why people may fall for you intensely, trust you too quickly, or depend on your presence for balance. You become their mirror, their muse, or even their medicine. And that's beautiful and dangerous, because no one can carry another's unfinished healing forever. So if your aura feels like a magnet for deep, complex people, Understand, it's not random. You are a symbolic figure in their inner journey, a reminder of what they seek within themselves. Sign 11. Your emotions affect the atmosphere instantly. When you're calm, the room softens. When you're anxious, the energy tightens. When you're inspired, everyone feels lighter. You don't need to speak. Your emotional field communicates faster than words. Jung said the unconscious is not bound by space or time. It transmits. That's why your inner state quietly shapes the mood of a group. You are, in a way, a psychic amplifier. Your awareness, empathy, and depth heighten everything around you. But that sensitivity is a double-edged sword, because just as you can elevate others, you can also be overwhelmed by their chaos. The key, Jung would say, is integration, knowing where you end and others begin. To manage your aura, you must learn energetic boundaries. Not walls, just awareness, so that your depth becomes a gift, not a burden.
Sometimes, it's not people who notice first. It's the innocent. Animals pause when you pass. Children stare, curious but unsure. They feel what adults ignore. Energy without disguise. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious communicates not only through dreams, but through symbols and instincts. Animals and children, still close to nature and the unconscious, pick up what others rationalize away. A dog may bark for no reason, not out of hostility, but because your field feels charged, like a storm on the horizon. A child may cling to you or stay back, sensing something vast behind your calm smile. You see, your aura isn't dark, it's alive. It carries awareness, and awareness is heavy. Most of the world is asleep, so when they meet someone awake, their instincts don't know what to do. If animals and children react to you strongly, it's not a curse. It's confirmation that your energy is real, and it moves through layers most people can't name. Sign number 13. You feel both powerful and isolated. This final sign is the most difficult and the most liberating. People with strong, integrated auras often live between two worlds. The external world, filled with noise, distraction, and masks, and the internal world, where silence feels like home. You've probably felt it, that paradox of being surrounded yet separate, loved yet misunderstood, admired yet unseen. Carl Jung called this stage the individuation crisis. It's what happens when your consciousness outgrows collective patterns, when your soul begins to walk its own path. You start to realize that solitude isn't loneliness, it's sacred space. The silence that once felt empty becomes the ground of your strength. You don't need to chase connection anymore, because your aura doesn't depend on company, it creates it. And people will come when they're ready, when they've done their own shadow work, when they can stand in your light without fear. So yes, your aura might scare people, but that fear is just the echo of their awakening. Carl Jung's final message was not to dim your energy, but to understand it. Your aura is not meant to dominate or isolate. It's meant to illuminate, to guide others not by force, but by presence. You carry light and shadow. You have faced your inner chaos and come back whole. That's why others react. You are a living symbol of what they could become if they dared to meet themselves fully. So, how do you live with this? Jung would suggest 3 things. 1. Stay grounded in awareness. Remember that your power comes from integration, not superiority. Meditate, create, reflect. Keep your ego soft and your insight sharp. 2. Honor solitude, but don't fear connection. Your alone time recharges you, but connection refines you. Find those who speak in the same quiet language of the soul. 3. Be the mirror, not the judge. When others project fear, meet it with empathy. They're not afraid of you, they're afraid of meeting their own depth. Let your energy teach without words. Be the calm presence in the storm of noise. Because when you accept the fullness of who you are, the world eventually adjusts to your frequency. Your aura doesn't scare people forever. It wakes them up. And that awakening, though it begins with fear, ends in reverence. Perhaps Jung would say, the one who has looked into their own abyss shines differently, and light born from darkness has gravity. So if your aura unsettles the world, remember, it's not because you are dark, it's because you are real. And nothing is more powerful or more frightening than that.